and welcome to the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. You're on your road, hopefully, listening to our show. Rod, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jim. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. You know, my computer's dinging over here. I don't know how to, I turn it off, but then it's not off. And then all of a sudden I'm recording the ding because I've heard it before. So sorry about that, everybody.
I didn't hear it.
I think you and I have been on a high since Saturday when we judged the American Legion speech contest. It was pretty cool.
That was awesome. And thanks for stepping up and doing that. I knew you would say yes because you always say yes, right?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
I left there with a lot of hope. And Rod, if people don't know what that contest is, can you explain it real briefly, what that's all about?
Sure. The American Legion puts on annually a constitutional speech contest for high school students, and they can vie for scholarships. And so it starts locally, and first place is $250, second place is $150. And then if they win at that level, they get to go to regionals, and from regionals they go to state, and from state they go to nationals. So ultimately they can win. If they won the national scholarship, it would be $25,000 plus they get paid for all the speeches along the way.
Yeah.
And it's on the Constitution. And so there are always 4 areas of the Constitution, and they let them know, like if it's Article 5 or Article 6 or whatever, they know that there are going to be certain articles they have to be able to speak on with 5 minutes notice, and they have to do a 3-minute speech. And then they have to have a prepared 10-minute speech on the topic. And it could be like due process, for example. And that's what one of them was this last time. So they can pick a constitutional topic, speak on that for 10 minutes. But what's amazing is that these students, and this is the 3rd year that I've judged, this event here locally, and I come away so inspired that I will never not do this. If they continue to ask me, I will continue to say yes. And it is an incredible opportunity to see, number one, how intelligent and engaging our youth really is. And that these youth who study these topics to do a good content speech on it, how important they see the importance of the Constitution to daily lives and how valuable it is. And it gives me hope for the future because without that, we're just another country, not knowing what to do, just struggling with daily existence. Not necessarily a third world country. There are other countries that just, they just do what they do, but there's no focus. There's no end in sight. And our Constitution pulls it all together, and to see students step up and the American Legion putting so much effort into this, it's just a phenomenal opportunity. And
well, I walked away with a lot of hope that, it's interesting. So often we just see the kids that aren't very enthusiastic or don't care or would rather be on the couch on their Game Boys, whatever it is that they're playing with. To see 2 high schoolers step up and be so knowledgeable. I mean, they knew a lot more than I knew. And the recall that they had, especially on that impromptu 5-minute to study for, adding an article to their speech, which was Article 10 this particular time, was pretty impressive. So thanks for having me. And like I said, we're still kind of on a high on that because, ultimately that's what the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate was started on, is working with young adults. And we realize that that's not just young adults, it's all adults that are young in mind and spirit, to help them find their cause and their purpose, and knowing truly that everybody has it in them to be successful if they just apply themselves. And it's amazing what any of us can accomplish once we apply ourselves, which, by the way, Rod, that leads me to the topic for the day.
Let's have it, Jim. Come on.
If you listen, you probably don't. I don't think you do, but I do. If you listen to Andy Frisella, he's got Q&A once a week, and that's where his co-host comes up with a question that was written in from the internet, and then Andy doesn't know what the question is, so he's got to answer it on the spot. So I come up with a topic, and then you have to help speak on it on the spot. So Today's going to be a little easier for you. And the reason why, because we've been discussing this for the last couple of weeks, and it's something that we talk about often in all of our classes when we're teaching the soft essential skills, as well as our criteria and our curriculum in our programs as well. And that is what we call, I'm going to call it daily critical tasks. We typically refer to them as important things that you can be doing every day. But as we expand, and I'm not going to give away what we're doing for young entrepreneurs today, but as we expand some of our resources, I'm going to call these daily critical tasks. And so, Rod, I'll just give the titles of them. We can go through each one however we want. I don't want to make this a 2-hour show here, but the things that I consider, how about just an overarching opinion? Let's do that. Okay. So the things that I consider, and I think we agree on this, as 5 daily critical tasks that should be considered are the following. And by the way, number 5, it's an either or because I couldn't keep it to 5. It had to be 6. So here's the 5. The first one is gratitude. And in my mind, when you wake up every morning, you can write down 5 things that you're grateful for. And they can be very simple, like, fresh water to drink, because those poor people in Ohio, they don't, right? So gratitude is number 1. Number 2 is reviewing your goals on a daily basis so that you stay aligned with what your long range goals are, okay, or your monthly goals, but realign every single day, review your goals. Number 3, some type of exercise. I don't care if that's a brisk walk, a run, get in the gym, whatever that looks like, but some type of exercise, 20 minutes or more. Number 4, help somebody. Whether that's at work, you're opening the door for somebody, whatever that looks like, give some help. And then number 5, and this is the tiebreaker, either visualization, right? Visualize yourself in that position or doing that thing that's on your goal list, or read 10 pages of nonfiction. Okay, maybe you rotate them day by day. But to me, these are 5 critical tasks that will make a substantial difference in your life. If you're able to do each of these 5 things on a daily basis, you will see, I don't want to say guaranteed results because I'm not selling you something. You will see results. There's no doubt about it if you're doing these things every single day. So what is your overarching opinion, Rod? And is there anything you want to drill into a little bit?
Sure. Number 1, I think they're all necessary. I really appreciate the fact, Jim, that you listed these and you just actually put it on paper, because that's where it starts. You have to have something to have any sort of a goal, any critical task, anything that matters should be written down. And the fact that you've got them listed here, even if you just looked at this list every day as a reminder of what's important to you, that would be a start. Mm-hmm. That would be enough just to look at this every day and say, oh, I need to be reminded that I need to be grateful for the things that I have. And a goal review, just say, gosh, yeah, I haven't sat down and looked at that, but I know it's important and I'm putting it on my radar. Mm-hmm. And I want to bounce back to goal review in a little bit too, because I got more to say about that. And exercise, to me, that's a reminder. Just looking at exercise, I'm putting under self-care, because it might not just be exercise. It might be, let's think about what I'm eating. Do I really need to have that second glass of wine? Do I need to eat that cinnamon roll like I had after breakfast today? Mm-hmm. Cut back on sweets, just being more mindful of our own self-care, our own vessel that we're walking around in. So exercise is more just getting that 20 minutes. To me, it's looking at yourself as a vehicle and saying, do I need a tune-up? Mm-hmm. Right? Do I need to go get a checkup? In the last couple of months, I've been doing some dental care that I've neglected, and it's not fun when it gets to that point, right? So it's a reminder of other things that need to be on our radar on a regular basis. And that's the other thing, being on the radar. Radar's constant. Yeah. Right. You're in a vehicle. It's constant. It has to be there all the time. And helping someone, that should just again, we shouldn't have to be reminded to help people. But if it's on our radar, we look for opportunities instead of just have them happen. If you're looking for opportunities, you will find opportunities. And if you're just waiting for it to happen, they're going to pass you by.
That's right.
Gosh, there's probably a podcast in that. And then the visualization, I'm going to make a switch up on this because number one, I agree. We have to spend our time in not only visualization, but prayer, meditation, just being in a calm state to get the alpha and beta waves, at least in some sort of a balance in our brain.
Yeah.
But I think reading, I'm going to the read nonfiction 10 minutes per day. I think that's important, but I also think reading in general is important. And if you're not a reader, start with something. Pick up a magazine, whether it's a healthy food magazine or if you like skiing or you're thinking about skiing or hiking, pick up a magazine off of a magazine rack and take it home so that you're reading instead of watching TV for an hour, that favorite program or whatever. Sit down in a comfortable chair, put some good light on, and read a magazine. And read about other people and other places and other things and get new ideas. Look for sources of inspiration outside of your norm.
And it's exercising your brain and your eyes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm a big fan of fiction as well, because to me, well, I'll talk about that another day, but it's exercising your brain and it's also entertainment. And so if you can do that, and where you have to be engaged with it, mentally engaged with the reading process, I'm a fan of that as opposed to just flipping on a TV or doing video games or whatever it is people do to use technology to disconnect.
Yeah.
At least you're physically connected with reading. So if you're not ready to buy a business book and read a business book, buy something you're interested in and start there, because all of these things take it's just one little drip. If you can drip a little bit, let's start there. And if you can do it on all 5 of those tasks in one day, great. And if you can do one today and, there's one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, by Saturday, you'll want to do something Saturday,
Yeah. Hey, just to dip back into the reading, by the way, a lot of times people are shy to meet people in public, or, they sit down at a public seating arrangement, whether that's a dinner or lunch table, and you don't know what to say. If you're reading, whether that's fiction or nonfiction, at least you've got something relevant or new to talk about. If nothing else, reading, even if it's that magazine or that newspaper, like you said, you've got something to talk about other than Yellowstone, or whatever it is, right. Whatever the show is, that everybody's watching. And these days there's so many choices. Nobody's watching the same stuff anyhow. So yeah, reading brings a lot of value just to your daily interactions, not to mention what you can learn. And by the way, if you're in business and if you're not reading, you're missing out on a wonderful opportunity to grow your understanding of business and leadership and all those other things through other people's stories. So, anyways, that, to me, these tasks are important. And if you can make them critical in your daily routine, you will be better for that. And it goes back to what I love about the 75 Hard program so much is that, you have your daily critical tasks, which aren't like this, similar. But I know that I'm better when I'm on that. It's not long-term sustainable because it's very rigorous with 2 workouts a day. But when we can develop routines and habits that are positive influences on our life, we do become better people. Right.
So 2 things. Number one, reading is so critical. I'm going to keep on reading for just a second. And I like to use examples that are from our own lives. And recently with our high school class, I taught a class about reading and how important it is to keep engaged in that. And one of the things I shared was when I was doing job interviews and I was interviewing people, this was one of my favorite questions to ask in an interview. What book did you just finish reading? Or what book are you reading now? And I'm telling you how many people you'd stump or people that was, I read such and such in high school or a college class. It's like, no, what are you reading? What book are you reading now? Or what was the last book you read? That, wording it one of those 2 ways. And I'm telling you what, the best candidate were always people who could answer that question.
I bet.
And give you an example. So it can be critical to stay up on this stuff.
You know, I posted the other day, I got 3 books from Amazon in the mail, and I was excited about it. My life's really taken some twists and turns from my youth, right? 3 new books show up, and I can't wait to get home to dig into one. That was only a few days ago. I've already finished one of those books. I'm on my second one, and the third one's, on standby,
Right.
It's weird. I cannot get enough learning right now in my life because I'm enjoying it so much. And I never thought I'd be in that place. So kind of interesting. If you asked me that question, I'd have 3 for you.
There you go. There you go. Well, I got 2 in the mail this week myself. So, there's a funny story in that also. However, critical tasks, again, critical tasks become habits. That's what these critical tasks are for, so that they become habits in your life. And it's no different than when you get up in the morning. I hope, if you're much like I am, I go to the restroom, I brush my teeth. Well, I wash my hands, right? See, they become so habitual, you even forget about them. You go to the restroom, you wash your hands, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, run a comb through your hair. I don't know, maybe you shower first, you have breakfast, whatever it is you do, but make your bed. When you go out to start your car, if you warm it up first, if you have to clear the snow off of it. I mean, there are things that we do on a regular basis that become a habit, and we don't even think about it. And that's what these critical tasks need to be. It should be a habit that we go to bed grateful and we wake up grateful. It should be a habit that we're looking at our goals on a regular basis, and hopefully have them in our sights on a daily basis, that we're taking care of our body and being mindful of that every single day, that we're looking for opportunities. How are you going to go out of your way to help someone? Start with your family.
Yeah.
Right? Help your spouse, help your kids. When you get to work, help somebody at work. Tell them that you appreciate them. That's helpful, right? And that's helping someone. It might be the first time someone's told them that in a month. So be that person. And we don't have to go far out of our way to find those opportunities. And then taking that little bit of extra time. Again, if you can't find 10 minutes to spare to get away to read something, put a book in the bathroom. Right?
Yeah, right.
No one's
Lock
going to
the
come
door.
banging on the door and come bother you if they know you're in the bathroom. They don't know you're reading. They don't know what your business is in there. So find whatever it takes to start building those habits, because they're critical.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. So just a quick reminder, in my opinion, Rod agrees with me. The 5 critical tasks we've got are gratitude, goal review, exercise, help someone, visualization, and or reading 10 pages. So good conversation, Rod. Look forward to next week. I don't know what the topic's going to be, but I'll tell you then. So
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. All right. It's always a pleasure, Jim. And everyone out there, please send in some topics so Jim just doesn't get to blindside me all by himself.
That's right. And hey, if you like the show, share it with a friend. You can find us at youngentrepreneurs.com. Grab a membership. We've got some great things coming up. And by the way, if you're just curious, what we've seen in the last year, I've seen 2 people start podcasts through our efforts. I've seen 3 businesses launch successfully, I should say. And we've helped a number of people transition careers, help make decisions in their lives, get them through hurdles that they've had, because Rod, myself, and Rachel have taken countless calls to help other people in the last 12 months. So there is true value happening in the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate, and we'd love to give you some of that value. So thanks for tuning in. Rod, look forward to talking to you next week.
Thanks, Jim. See you, everybody.